Everyone, it's Us, and this is going to be the patch 8.21 notes rundown. We're going to get through this a little bit quicker than I normally do with note rundowns, as I'm a little out of time as I am starting this. So let's jump right into it. Should be noted that I have not actually read any of the changes yet. However, with preseason right around the corner, I will keep that in mind when reading the changes, because it could end up meaning that all of the changes are irrelevant until we know more about preseason. Because changes that could be good for the champions currently might end up meaning absolutely nothing as soon as preseason comes around and if major changes happen to the game. So, jump into it. Alistar, health decreased. Wow. Alright. He loses an auto attack. It's kind of big, but doesn't matter. It will affect very, very few lanes. It's not enough to make the champion go out of the meta, so don't think that this is actually too big of a problem. This actually touches on a subject that I talked about many patch rundowns ago in regards to like Tahm Kench and other tank champions like Braum and whatnot not getting hit sooner. So this is something that already should have happened, and it definitely does not mean that they get taken out of the meta. Ashe, passive slow, increased E-pings enemy champions its spots. That's a nice little buff, I guess. Slow 10 to 20% scaling to 15 to 30% scaling, so Ashe is still kind of weak. I mean, these are quite sizable percentages, but it's not enough to magically make her come back into the meta. Other ADCs do definitely outclass her, but in situations where you would be wanting to pick an engage ADC, this can be quite good. So again, Ashe is a champion that requires the other champions in the meta to be catered to her being good, as well as the itemization for her being good, and champions being vulnerable to her being picked. And what I mean by that is like support champion picks have to be potentially vulnerable to her. And then she has to be picked in good spots. So even though these are nice buffs and she's definitely going to welcome them, it doesn't really mean that much in the big picture. Aurelion Sol, health decreased, health regen increased. So he gets... So is this per second? So he gets... Alright. So per 2 minutes... Alright, am I getting this right? So per 2 minutes he regenerates more. So it's a buff for mid-game Aurelion Sol, I guess, but he's not really on the map all that much. Losing 52 HP, though, at level 1 is really, really big. And for the champions that actually can go toe-to-toe with him or trade back against him early on, this is really quite sizable. Oh, it's per 5 seconds? This is his health per 5? I thought it was 0.5 per second. Oh, I'm an idiot. What? I don't understand. Okay. So anyways, Aurelia, movement speed... Alright, Ezreal. W damage increased late. W essence flux 75 to 255 scaling to 75 to 275, so he gets an extra 20 damage on it. I think that's quite nice. That's definitely welcome. Draven Q Bugfixes. Well, technically not balance changes. These bug fixes are just some busted interactions that made it harder for Draven to gloriously execute. Okay. Bugfix, Ezreal change. Aurelia, movement speed reduced. Base stats, movement speed 340 to 335. Not again. Not again. Ah, Jesus. It's like a fucking... It's like the Saw franchise. Like, you know, like how many people wait every year to see if Saw's just gonna announce another movie? Unplayable. Minus 5 MS. Wow, they really took Aurelia out, didn't they? Alright, Kai'Sa. Passive proc scaling decrease. Ultimate shield duration decrease. Passive second skin. Proc damage 15%. 3.75% per 100 ability power to 15%, 2.5% per 100 ability power targets missing health. Our killer instinct shield duration 3 seconds to 2 seconds. These are actually quite noticeable. Will it move Kai'Sa out of the meta? No. I know that some people have been calling for Kai'Sa to get moved out of the meta, but I think that that is way too small of a sample size to really go off of. And I think that so many other factors are at play. Kai'Sa is still one of the strongest champions in the game, and these types of nerfs to her numbers is not what is making Kai'Sa as strong as she is. So I do not really care that much about that. Karma. W, root duration increased early. Root duration 1 to 2 seconds scaling to 1. Wow, okay. So she basically has her rank 3 W now at rank 1, which is really, really big. Empowered duration bonus, plus 0.4, so these are all unchanged. This is really, really good, though. That's actually really strong. This is good for top karma, and obviously it's good for mid and support karma as well, but I think that where you definitely feel it the most is top karma. Although I don't think that she's poised to re-enter the meta anytime soon, at least not as a top laner. So, I mean, already I think that we're probably more than halfway through the patch notes, and again, we're a plastic surgery clinic because all that we are is filler. Karthus, W cooldown and cost decreased, R cooldown decreased. Wall of Pain, 18 to 15 seconds, nice. Cost, 100 mana to 70 mana, nice. Requiem, 150 to 200 mana scaling to 100 at all ranks. Well, it doesn't really matter when he's only casting R when he's dead. Yeah. I don't think any Karthus player ever said to himself, man, I wish I had the mana. Oh, Ivern. Oh, movement speed increased. E-shield increased. W on hit. Oh, wait a minute. Did they just bring him back? W on hit damage is up by 10 at every rank early on. But because you don't actually... So, the thing that's so nice about this is that he gets his rank 2 at his rank 1. And this is actually big because you don't start putting points into this until level 14. So the fact that he gets an extra 10 damage on his auto attacks means that he probably can end up getting an extra 50 to 60 damage inside of a gank, which is actually quite noticeable for him. E-Trigger Seed, shield 75 to 215 scaling to 80 to 220. Whoa! Slow down there, Riot Games. Don't go too crazy. Movement speed 325 to 330. I mean, it's nice, but it's still not the same as his own as his old MS rune. So I would have liked to have seen them make this 335 instead of just 330. So I think that they're being too cautious here. Brushmaker is actually a sizable buff. E-Trigger Seed is kind of laughable, though. They should have done something to the AP ratio. I talked about Ivern and how he can actually be fixed, or what they should be looking at to fix him. I think that you just have to give him some of his damage back. You also have to recognize that Ivern was a byproduct of items being in a very, very good place, as well as the runes being really good for him. It wasn't just his skills and the ratios inside of them that made him strong. And so because of that, I think that Riot should be looking to re-give him back some of his power, the way that sometimes they've added that into the champion notes as to why they're doing something. Nuno and bug fixing and rescripting. Alright, so this is all just bug fixes. Zac, Q damage increased, stretching strikes, 30 to 70 scaling to 40 to 100. Wow, that's really big. Truthfully, I'm unfamiliar with what Zac gets second, so I don't know how impactful this actually is, but it does look like quite sizable buffs to his damage. And any tank is going to love base damage buffs, because tanks don't actually itemize into the AD or AP ratios, so this is quite good. Zoe, Q damage increase late, E cooldown decrease. Oh, yes. This is what I lived for. Q Paddle Star, 50 to 170 scaling. So the one that I'm looking at most is the 110. So she gets an extra 10 damage on it, which I guess if she hits a few in lane, this is really good. And then 170. I really like this. Sleepy Bubble Trouble, 16 to 14 seconds to 16 to 12 seconds. Thank you so much, Riot. I have been missing Zoe. I have completely missed this champion. Zoe is fantastic. Zoe is really healthy. I know that lots of people disagree with me on this. In fact, I'm probably getting a lot of hate for this. Completely busted champions, I think, are really cool for the game. I've been very vocal about this in the past. Fight fire with fire. Okay? Zoe is very, very good. I am glad that they're buffing her again. I hope that she's coming back. In fact, I hope that maybe they're just trying to sell a skin, and we haven't even got there yet. So maybe there's a new Zoe skin, and that's what these buffs are meant to do. So, but again, keep in mind that Season 9 is just around the corner, and all of these changes could basically mean nothing depending on what direction they're taking the game. But Zoe is a champion that basically fits into anything. So in that regard, I think it's really good. Anyways, items, Edge of Night, cost less, Veil channel time decreased. The Veil channel time being decreased does not do anything. It's the duration that is the most important. Cost toned down by 100 gold does not change the fact that the item is a joke, as is lethality in most cases. Essence Reaver, cost less, that's great, rework the item. HUD, font size, bug fixes, upcoming skins and chroma, bewitching Jana. All right, let's take a look here. Nope. Not really feeling it. Count Cletterlo. All right, this is fun. This is really cool. This is actually really cool. This is a great skin. This reminds me of the Halloween themed cereals when I was a kid. Trick or Treat Echo. What's that movie with like the... Oh, this reminds me of The Purge. That's actually pretty cool. Okay. This is a really good skin. Are there any Easter eggs in here? Okay. Alright. That's pretty good. KDA skins? What is that? KDA? Thought skins? What? Is it racist if I say they all look the same? It's like a bad Barbie line. What? They all look the same. Like the face looks the same. No, come on. Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, you looked at like, okay, well, they obviously made her stand out from the rest. The rest all look like lackeys. I'm getting like a Twilight Breaking Dawn vibe here. Now I'm not liking this. I'm really just not liking this. They're all lackeys. They're all backup dancers. Oh, God. All right, recapping on the patch. Not too many All right, it's just another filler patch. It's still Resident Sleeper. It's still Season 9 waiting room. This patch is a joke. It's not going to mean anything. It's really sad. You know, everyone saw that Twitch clip, Mylixia, talking about, like, the 6 months on a Draven axe? Designing the 6 months on a Draven axe? What is this? But anyways, next patch apparently is confirmed to be the preseason patch. So I am looking forward to seeing you guys all in 2 weeks so that we can have a real, legitimate, happy, fun patch rundown. I will see you all then. The only good thing we got out of this patch was Zoe buffs and the Echo skin and the Kaisa skin. Yeah, that's it.